A burden can be a calling. Nehemiah was deeply moved about what happened to the walls of Jerusalem. It broke him, and instead of ignoring the pain that he felt inside of him, he wept and fasted and prayed, and then he stepped out in faith. Sometimes we don't realize that what breaks our heart may be what God is calling us to do. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Daniela Agofure and I make self-development videos related to faith. If that's something you'd be interested in, subscribe and let's get straight into this word. So today's video is called Starting Over with God, and it's really a video for anybody who is in a season whereby they're trying to navigate what they want to do next. Maybe if you've made mistakes in your past and you didn't regret, and you're like, okay, the things I've done in the past, I hope they're not going to affect me in the future. Is it going to limit me from being able to achieve great things in life, from being able to move forward, right? Or if you're just trying to build something in general, yeah, this video is for you. So it's from the story of Nehemiah in the Bible, right? And I have about 5 points written down here for you guys. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. Number 1, a burden can be a calling. Nehemiah was deeply moved about what happened to the walls of Jerusalem. It broke him, and instead of ignoring the pain that he felt inside of him, he wept and fasted and prayed, and then he stepped out in faith. Sometimes we don't realize that what breaks our heart may be what God is calling us to do. If you've experienced a traumatic past, if you've wasted an opportunity in the past, whatever the case might be, sometimes your greatest calling, your greatest achievement is birthed from a place of pain. It's birthed from a place of uncertainty. It's birthed from past experiences. I know I heard the testimony of Chud. It wasn't really a testimony. He was just talking about how his popular TV show or YouTube channel got birthed, right? It was like it was from a place of pain that people were coming at him online, and he was just like, why do people hate him so much? Like, why is all of this happening? And that was really how the popular show with Chud was birthed, right? He was in a place of pain, and instead of running away from it, he ran towards it and he saw a way out of it. Nehemiah was in pain over what had happened to the walls of Jerusalem. He didn't run away from it. He ran towards it. He sought God. He cried. He wept, and he prayed. He fasted, and literally he undertook the task of building the walls back of Jerusalem, and he did it at the end of the day. So there's something so interesting about pain. If you use it the right way, it can really bring out something beautiful at the end of the day. If he was not moved about it, he wouldn't have built it. There's some things that we don't see until we're in a place of pain. Unless somebody has broken our hearts, unless whatever the case might be, right? There's some things that just happen in your life that makes you sit down and really reflect and be like, okay, what am I going to do in the next season of my life? What am I going to do in this season, right? So yeah, that is it for number 1 point. Number 2, prayer is the first response, not the last. Nehemiah did not just jump into building the walls of Jerusalem. First of all, he prayed, he fasted, right? He sought the face of God. Before taking any action, he sought God's guidance. Like, even before speaking to the king, he prayed before speaking to the king, right? Sometimes we don't realize that the reason why we struggle in certain areas is because we're trying to do it on our own strength. We have not received a word from God, so we're just going on based on what we know. We do not have a clear revelation of what God is saying to us in this particular season and what he wants us to do. So we're just doing what we know based on knowledge, right? And we struggle unnecessarily. But when you pray before undertaking a certain task, right, what prayer does for you, it aligns you with the favor of God and it gives you strategy. Number 3, God can use you in unlikely places. Nehemiah was not a prophet or a priest, he was a cupbearer, but yet God used him as a strategic leader. He leveraged his position in the palace for kingdom impact. Sometimes we don't realize that our current job, our status, our skill sets is exactly what we need for us to be able to do extraordinary things. We are so busy on what other people have that we don't have, that we miss out on what we have that can propel us to the next level of our life. Nehemiah used exactly what he had in order to get what he needed. He leveraged his position as the cupbearer. He was in a strategic position whereby he was close to the king. He was close to him, so he could tell him. Even the king noticed him without him speaking. He saw how he was, his countenance, and he asked him, what is wrong. He did not even have to say anything because he had been in the presence of the king for such a long time. The king knew exactly how he was. He knew when he was in a good mood. He knew when things were on his heart. So he asked him, what is wrong? And he used the fact that he was close to the king. He leveraged that position to be able to make kingdom impact. So you can use exactly what you have for you to be able to get to the next level. Number 4, opposition confirms the assignment. Nehemiah was mocked. They threatened him. They tried to distract him. But what did he say? He said, I am doing a great work. I cannot calm down. They tried to distract him when he was on his mission. But he told them that I cannot calm down. I'm doing something important. I'm busy, essentially. So we don't understand that sometimes when we are experiencing resistance, it's often proof that you're doing something that matters. All the times when he was in the king's palace, nobody came to look for him. But the minute he set his mind on building back the walls of Jerusalem, he started to face opposition, he started to face resistance. Sometimes you don't realize that the resistance that you are experiencing shows that you are actually on your way to your breakthrough. You are actually doing something that's important. You are experiencing spiritual warfare. You realize that, okay, maybe you used to pray so much before, but now you're not praying anymore. You get tired, or maybe something tragic, something just happened to you, right? And you're just in a state of panic, but you don't realize that in the past couple of months, your relationship with God got better. Suddenly, you're experiencing all this warfare, you're experiencing all this hardship. It shows that you're on your way to your breakthrough. It shows that you're doing something important, something great. That's why you're facing all this opposition. Number 5, rebuilding requires unity and strategy. He organized people, Nehemiah, by families and had them build near their homes. They were building with one tool in their hand and with a weapon in the other hand. They didn't just set out and just did things anyhow. They had strategy. You can't build alone. Building requires a battle plan. It requires strategy and the gift of men. There's a popular quote that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And this is a clear example of the story of Nehemiah. Yes, there's a very huge possibility that depending on where you are, you might have to do things in the beginning stages by yourself. But when it gets to a certain level, you have to be able to rely on the gift of men. You have to be able to rely on the people helping you get to the next level, right? Nehemiah had the gift of men. He had the king who wrote him a letter. He had people that were helping him build the walls of Jerusalem. He didn't do it all by himself. He had a plan, he had a strategy, and he had a vision. Those are all things that are important for you to be able to do something great. Number 6, don't just rebuild, reform. Nehemiah didn't just build the walls of Jerusalem and went home. There's a reason why the people of Israel, why the Israelites kept on making mistakes. It's because their mind needed to be renewed. If you do something right without doing the inner work, there's a real possibility that you might end up where you were. It's like you come into a lot of money, but you haven't learned the importance of stewardship. You haven't learned the importance of managing money. You haven't learned how to increase that money that you have, right? There's a very huge possibility that you will end up in the state that you were at before, or even worse, right? So after Nehemiah completed the walls, Ezra read the law to them. He read the law to the people. They wept, they repented, they rededicated their lives to God, right? And Nehemiah didn't just stop there. He confronted them. He confronted their sin. He restored worship and called for holiness. He knew that all these things were important in order for what had been built to stay, right? For it to have staying power. He understood that true transformation, true restoration involves heart transformation, not just external repairs. So when you are doing something great, always do the inner work. There's a reason why some of our testimonies take so long, to be very honest with you. It's not because God cannot bless you the day you prayed. It's because there's a certain level of inner work that you need to do in order for you to be able to sustain the blessings that God wants to give you. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Really, if you feel like this video has blessed you, leave a comment, like, share with somebody, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.